Welcome to the Retiring Club. My name is John, and I will be the host for this meeting. Before we get started, I'd like to take a um, brief moment of silence for those who have lost their lives in the flash flood this past weekend in Texas. So let's give that moment of silence. Hopefully, everybody will be found and turn out, and my heart goes out to those who have lost. I can imagine being out on a vacation and all of a sudden you hear the rumble and the force of water coming through. I would hate to have that happen to anybody. But these things are a little bit common nowadays, especially Texas seems to be getting hit hard. So my prayers go out to those people down there. So in this meeting of the retiring club, we just wanted to have a little discussion. Over the weekend, I found an article on Yahoo Finance talking about the 6 keys to a successful retirement. So I'm going to jump right in here and just bring it up and give you some commentary on it and talk a little bit about how it applies to me in my retirement. For those of you who are just stopping by, I've been hosting this retiring club. And I've got a number of videos out. It's a whole library, and I put it together as more of an introduction from a regular do-it-yourself investor who started off with nothing and is relatively on the low income. If I retired today, I think all my assets would, as far as in investments, would barely total 400,000. So I'm on the low end, but there's many people out there like it, and I thought having a retirement club would be a good idea. Which I did look for one in the area and couldn't find one. So let's just get right into this article from the weekend. Item number one, it talks about develop a comprehensive income and expense plan. So here at the Retiring Club and with my personal life, I am very big on budgets. I use budgets for just about everything, and I do track my expenses. And it's been working out extremely well because I could do a lot of forecasting. And that's one thing that they're talking about. They want you to know exactly what your household expenses are from when you work so that when you retire and make the decision to retire, that you have enough income to continue to live as if you had a job. I'm not talking about cutting back, going from comprehensive collision down to no fault, canceling your gym membership, um, you know, uh, deleting subscriptions and stuff like that. I'm talking about you operating as if you had all the income. That's the number one thing, because if you come up short, then you're going to be trying to cut corners on everything. And that's what they're talking about. And that can be done with a basic Excel spreadsheet where you categorize all your expenses. And at the Retiring Club, we did cover budget and crediting. If you look at the playlist, you'll find that and you can go back through it and see how it works. So let's move right along. The print here is like very small. Item number two they're talking about is eliminate your debt. Now, one of the biggest things about debt is there's good debt and there's bad debt. For me, when I purchased this home, which I've been in for about 11 years now, it was one of the best investments. No stock has ever done as well as this home that I have, and it has been phenomenal. So I'm carrying some good debt, but I structured by using resources through the NACA program and having money that I pulled from the 401k now. I did a withdrawal and I paid the taxes on it and then waived the 10% penalty. And I used it for a down payment on the home for my closing costs. I had money already, about 6 grand, and I used some of that for the down payment and to pay down the points. I have a 1.75% mortgage, and my mortgage is at $500 right now, and I've been contributing an extra $100 to pay that down. But it is very manageable. The credit card, I don't have any credit card debt now, none. But if I had a car repair or a mechanic said, "Hey, look, you might want to get this done if you're going to keep this car for a while," which he did when I went in for an oil change. He said, "Hey, you got a little leak by the valve cover gaskets. You might want to, think about it." And I said, "Hey, when I get my bonus, I'll go ahead and take care of it then." And I think what I did is I put it on a credit card, and then I made sure I paid that credit card off before there any interest. So I carry no credit card debt, but I have them and I need them for the travel. Renting the car. They like it when you go to the hotel. Sometimes they want to, when you travel in foreign countries, a credit card that has the currency exchange, a world credit card where you charge in different currency and they don't charge you a fee. You really want one of those. So that's what they're talking about, eliminating the debt. My plan is I add an extra $100 a month, and I'm in my third year doing that to pay down the mortgage, as well as I've been putting $500 away. And this technically will be the fifth year. So with that $500 that I've been putting away, it is building up not only emergency fund if need be, it is also building up cash reserve that I don't have to pay any taxes on, that I can use to pay off the mortgage. A little bit later on, I will tell you why it's so important for me to pay off the mortgage in a further meeting of the retiring club. And it'll make a lot of sense to you. But that's something that I want to do because everybody who's successful in retirement has just knocked out that mortgage. So let's continue on. Now, it's talking about on item number 4 is to create an estate plan. And what they're talking about, see, I'm single, but if you were married and you had children and things like that, you would want to have set up an estate plan with power of attorney, and you want to have everything set up so in your absence, your wife could take over and know what to do, and get their hands on the monies, and have an idea what to do with your items. Like in my case, I've got these rings. Well, a couple of these rings are new, but I've got them all photographed, and I got which nephew is going to get which ring, and watches and bracelets and stuff like that. I like my nephews to have some of the younger ones. I have options to some of my business suits. Um, and I've got a list of the Goodwill where they can, they want to come in here and start cleaning stuff out, things like that. I specifically want the condominium, in my absence as a single person, to become basically a timeshare. We've got a lot of younger people in the family, and Atlanta's a great place. You come down here, you don't have to deal with the standard cost of $1,400 a month for a basic apartment. Your uncle's got a place that's going to cost you total with utilities once it's paid for and HOA about $650 a month. That's it. And there's 2 rooms here, roommate style. So I've got that all mapped out. Um, Everybody's got the keys. I think I have to update the code to the dumpster. The whole shot. Um, it is set up to go through a regular will, which means that it's going to be publicized. It's got to go through probate. A little bit later on in retirement, I'll turn that into a project and turn that into one of the types of trust. I don't want to mention anything now because I have to study up on it, but that makes it a little bit more manageable. So that's what they're talking with the state. And I'll give you a tip. If you have an account with Fidelity, Fidelity does have a trust type of estate module in their website, and they picked a lawyer out. It cost me $600, and I've got it all put away. And the 2 trustees have copies of it, so in case something happens, because you don't want um, family members pulling up to the home with a U-Haul, taking stuff out, and then a lot of people, the first thing they're out of their mind, let's sell the place. They want to get their hands on the money. No, this is right where the high tech center outside of Atlanta. You come down here, you're gonna get a job. I mean, just part time work with $600 a month and all utilities and your escrow and everything. That's a bargain. And you're talking about that much. for years into the future. It's not going to go up that much. It's not going to be 600 forever, but you're going to really, really have a good deal. And that's the estate plan of it. I got spooked when my cousin had passed, and I had to listen to a relative talking about acting like they were, was entitled to something, trying to strong arm his daughter out of her estate. And I just said, this is nuts. I'm not going through that. And so that's creative estate plan number 4. If you decide you want to do something like that, um, it's going to be about $600. And don't fool with a lawyer that's going to take forever. You do your work. Go out, go through it, talk with them. They'll tell you that the beneficiaries on your plan, on your death, once that certificate, that's who gets it. So if you got your wife as the beneficiary in your 401k and you got married again and you ain't get it changed, well, that's a problem. Next thing is prepare a mental and social plan. Well, if you've been following me, I get up and go on travel. Matter of fact, I got a picture right back here, and that is a classic photo from Easter Island. And that trip cost me $12,000, but I covered all of Latin America. And when I came back, I realized something with my features. I need to learn to speak Spanish. There's some beautiful women down there and some friendly people. Great place, might possibly to go and hang out. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing, traveling, and that's what I was doing before I started this video. I just booked another trip with Gate One Travel, who has a flash sale going on now, and after Labor Day, they're going to have a sale again where they're waiving the single surcharge. But if that's what you want to do, travel, sign up with Gate One, get the flash sale, pick something out, and budget it. And that's what I'm doing on the social tip. And then I'm here on this media. I also did something last week where I actually volunteered at a food pantry. They call it a mini mart. So I did the 4 hours. The firm was asking us to do that. And so I did that. So, and it was real close by. I prefer to do things in the community rather than some of the corny stuff they be having to do, fixing little mailboxes and writing cards and stuff like that. I don't really want to do that. But anyway, that's what they're talking about here. Item number 5. And item number 6 here, they're talking about do a lifestyle trial run. Now, what they're talking about here is everybody says do a trial run of your budget. Um, and I think I did that. I did a Social Security valuation analysis. And when I looked at 65 and I took in the account of my pension that was coming in, and I added it up and I looked at the biweekly pay you get paid on the 15th last day. And when it matched, I said, well, shit, I can come out at 65. I got enough money. If that calculation is right, up to date, when they do the final calculations, I said, well, I'm good to go at 65. I get the Medicare. I don't have to go. But going to 67 um, makes it even better. Now you're starting to get up to about 3 grand, and your budget with the home paid off is about 1,200. So I also went to, I think it was called Medicare Check, My Medicare Check or something like that. And I got a quote for the plan in. It came out to $124. And so I already know that when I get my own dental and my own vision, I'm at 384. So I already know what my health care is going to be. And I've been operating on $100 a month, I mean, a week in my pocket for like eons. So when I get, you know, $300 a week in my pocket to do things with, this is a whole, you're talking a whole different lifestyle there and more trips. You just stay home for about 4 months, and then you're going to accumulate enough money to pay for a $4,000 trip. Whereas now I'm having to work all year and all the part time jobs I'm doing. So that trial run and being able to pay all your bills, being able to deal with the escrow, the increases in the escrow, and all that is what they're talking about. I've been doing that, and I feel pretty confident with my plan. And that's basically what they're talking about. This article was on Yahoo Finance, and it's a good thing to look at. Now, as we're starting off in the retirement, you just do what you need to do. Um, take advantage of the company match. If you don't have a company plan and you want to start up your investments, go back through the series because I go through and we actually open up a Roth IRA in the financial services. And that one got hit pretty hard, but it's up 9% right now. It went down about 5%, but it's recovering. All my investments are peaking at their all-time high. And now it's just a matter of sit back and make it through this year and see how you feel when you turn 65. I mean, I don't want to rush it, but I am really kind of interested in, just coming out at 65 because I'm going to be the benefits manager. If I can cover all my benefits and get this home paid off, then and bridge for 2 years, you know, then I'll be in good shape. I'm not going to 70. I looked at the balance sheet with Dr. Ed Weir and Howard over at Otter's retirement, and that thing is going to just go. It's going to run dry, and then it's going to have a shortfall. Um, and you already seen some of the promises were made and how this big beautiful tax bill turned out. I am not going to try and go to 70 for that little bit of money, and then they turn around and tell me we're only going to pay you 80%. If I did that, the money that I would get at 70 would be equivalent to what I would get at 67. And then all that money, that $20,000 a year that I would need to bridge, will cover all of my vacation. You're talking about a train ride across Canada. You're talking about Alaskan cruise. You're talking about Antarctica cruise. You're talking about Australia, New Zealand. I could take all those trips with $60,000 and have plenty of cash reserves. And that's the lifestyle that I want. And all you have to do is save and take in some of the information here and build your own retirement plan up. It's it's different for everybody. I feel comfortable because I'm not coming out of work early and having to bridge and you know worry about health care with the ACA program. I'm going on with the type of benefits that I'm accustomed to having as a computer professional who's been in this business for 40 years. It's just that I don't have to go to work no more, but I get everything as if I was at work. And that's the number one thing with building a strong retirement plan. So that's all I got on this segment of the Retiring Club. Just the keys. There's a lot of little pieces that you have to build, but stick with me because I am scheduled to go to two dinner seminars coming up. Well, one of them's a dinner seminar. The other one is on Social Security and the next Tuesday. So I want to come back and report on that. And if you got any questions, just drop them in the comments for me. This is John, and I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting and wish you well. And thanks for watching. Give me some likes and go ahead and subscribe. I could use a few more subscribers because I got something I want to disclose to you on how I plan to cover myself and bridge without touching the money in bucket number two. Thank you.